How do you find happiness and success? How do you practice self-discipline, you may ask? Well, you're in luck since we've got you covered. To be finance savvy, Financial Intellect is your buddy, so you might want to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell button to be updated whenever we post a video like this. Now let's get started. But first, we need to understand why self-discipline is important. No matter what goals you set or plans you may construct, you wouldn't be able to make it into reality without sticking to it and putting in any work. That's self-discipline. If you truly want to have self-discipline, it is essential to have the strength to avoid and not satisfy your cravings or to ignore the need to gratify yourself. Self-discipline also gives you a lot of time because you can prevent yourself from delaying your goals, which might cost you a lot if you're trying to finish an important project. And we know that time is constantly moving. We wouldn't want to waste this precious time on something unproductive. When you manage your time, you also discipline yourself by being diligent towards achieving your goals. And don't worry, because we'll help and guide you on how to acquire the skill. We'll be providing you with 6 ways to develop your self-discipline. 1. Identify and understand your strengths and weaknesses. Before you try to execute your plans, you should have already understood yourself to a deeper level. We have to accept that we aren't perfect. We all have our flaws. Maybe you have an addiction to, let's say, alcohol, smoking, food, games, or movies. Many of us fail to recognize and acknowledge these weaknesses by continuing to deny who we truly are as a person. It is important to be self-aware by acknowledging your shortcomings as a part of yourself. Knowing this, you have to ask yourself, what can I do to overcome this, and what are the steps that I should take? And aside from our flaws, we also have to understand our strong suits, since these may help us to turn our weaknesses into strengths. Let's say I'm having a difficult time studying literature because of how boring the reading is for me. However, your strong suit is that you understand better from videos or audiobooks because you're an audio-visual learner. With this, you can combine these two to turn your weakness into strength by watching helpful, informative, and graphical videos about the topics you're studying. Yes, we all have our weaknesses, but it is up to us in how we deal with them. Do we succumb to its seemingly hard to conquer reality, or do we own up to this and make a change for the improvement of ourselves? You won't be able to surpass these challenges until you stand up for yourself. 2. Establish clear and realistic goals. If you want to develop self-discipline, you have to envision what you want to do. Set your goals and make them as specific as possible, keeping in mind that these should also be achievable. You should avoid creating vague goals since you would be having a hard time grasping what you really want to do. This might also change and you may interpret it differently depending on a specific day. For example, you want to lose weight. If you only mention losing weight as your target, then you might interpret it as losing a few kilograms, or you might be only stating an empty promise you won't keep because of the lack of commitment you had in setting a goal. You have to be specific. In this case, let's say I weigh 90 kilograms and I want to lose 5 kilograms by the end of this month. Your aim becomes clear and at the same time realistic because of how meticulous you are in creating each of your objectives. And with setting up your goals, you also have to accommodate for short and long-term goals. Having both of these work hand in hand would allow you to better reach the ultimate goal you're aiming for. And the only thing you need now is your plan of action, which brings us to the next step. 3. Construct a plan of action. Now that you have already set your goals, you have to create a detailed plan of action to help you achieve what you want to do. When it comes to planning how you would act, remember that this should be time-bounded. You have to set a deadline to help you keep focused on your goal. It helps you stay on track and also lays the groundwork for your implementation. This allows you to systematically achieve your goals efficiently and successfully through the key steps you laid out. When creating your initial plans, you also have to account for the uncertainties that await you. You may encounter a threat to your original plan. So what should you do when the situation arises? You have to create a contingency plan in order to deal with potentially difficult situations that you'll most likely encounter. Entering a playing field with a plan gives you the comfort that you'll be able to take care of anything that goes your way. You'll also prevent having impulsive decisions, which would most likely bring forth disaster. 4. Get rid of temptations. There is nothing new about distractions. They are everywhere, from noises, social media, phone, addiction, literally any place. And this is one of the detrimental factors that keeps you from accomplishing your goals. If you have to choose between the two, watching a movie or studying all day long, of course, it is easier to pick a task where you'll only use your eyes. Aside from how it entertains us, it doesn't necessarily require as much effort to exert over a long period of time, unlike studying. So, when you're trying to do your tasks, try to remove these distractions in your environment. This would greatly develop your self-discipline. Removing temptations that would make you skip a step towards completing your plans would be a drastic change in your lifestyle. Take, for example, when you're studying. If you want to stay focused while you study for an exam, turn off your phones and make sure that you are away from it. This would prevent you from having the urge to look into your phone for any notification or just to use it freely, keeping you preoccupied from your work. I get it, it seems too much, so another alternative you can try is changing your physical work environment. You may try to go to your school's library. It would be a lot harder for you to be distracted because of its silence and academic atmosphere. And to top it all off, you won't feel that you're in the comforts of your home. So if you really want to be productive at your work, try to remove all distractions as much as you can. Just simply silencing your phone and distancing yourself away from it would keep your mind focused and on track. 5. Train diligence and build habits. Like what I mentioned in the first part of the video, self-discipline is a skill. It's a learned behavior. And similar to any skill you want to familiarize yourself with, it takes huge time and effort to master, and you'll be able to achieve this through repetition. There's a saying that in order to make something a habit, you have to constantly repeat it for about 21 days straight, while if you want to perfectly integrate it into your lifestyle, you need to constantly repeat it for 90 days. It may seem to be a drag because of how long it takes just to form a habit. I know, but hear me out. In the first few months, it will be tough as you get accustomed to it. However, you'll eventually understand and find enjoyment and purpose in doing so. If you're really having a hard time, try to make small but consistent actions until you're able to arrive at your end goal. Continuously believe in yourself that you'll be able to get to the end of this. Every step you take is one step closer to your goal. This individual step that you take, no matter how small it is an integral part of the process. A great way to start your day productively is simply by making your bed. Though it may seem to be a small step, it allows you to gain motivation as you continue forward from the small victory. 6. Change your mindset. Have you ever felt that you're not in the right mood to do anything and you want to wait for the right moment? Well, we all have, right? But most probably you won't have that moment. Our mind is not really built to be highly productive. It always immediately looks for something that would make us happy, especially one that would bring instant gratification or short-term happiness. So we should be the ones in control and start doing what we are supposed to do. But how do we do it? The 3-second rule may just be the trick for you. It's simply like this. If you're undermotivated and just waiting for the right mood to eventually come, just count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Then give yourself a boost to immediately get on with it. This helps you remove any doubts or emotions that may interfere with what you're working on. Once you start and continuously use this technique, it may lead you to minutes, hours, or days worth of focus. It's an extremely useful technique to trick your brain to act on your task immediately. So here are 6 ways you can develop your self-discipline. I hope that this video motivated you to start working on yourself towards your goal of being self-disciplined. Remember, an achievement that you've worked so hard on gives you true happiness and fulfillment. So, are you up for the challenge? If you like this video, you may consider subscribing to our channel and clicking on the notification bell so that you'll receive the latest updates whenever we post new content. See you in the next video!